From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
A man accused of a double homicide. The jury trial of Zachary Norman begins today. Right off the top, we'll take a look back at the case and review the night that ended in the death of two brothers from Butte.
This is the Jefferson River Basin, made up of the Big Hole, Beaverhead, and Ruby Rivers. I'm Chet Lehman. This week, we're going to take a look at an FWP plan to try to have anglers help them figure out why fish numbers are declining in this river.
All right, 6:31.
It's our spider friend.
This morning, he's just hanging out. He's been hanging out all morning with us. Honorary third member of Montana this morning.
I feel like, and you asked me earlier if he has a name. I feel like we may have to name him by the end of the show.
I think so. I think we'll give him the honor because he's just been hanging in there. He's a very loyal viewer.
He's part of the show, that's for sure. Hey, the morning temperature is actually relatively warm this morning. We've been into the 60s most of the morning. It's cooled down in a few areas, 64 in Bozeman, 55 in Belgrade. There is a good chance that we'll see at least some passing showers in the area. It may not be directly overhead, but late morning, early afternoon chances are really what we're focusing on for rain as it stands now. I think the evening dries out and our temperatures probably won't be quite as hot today as they were yesterday. Temperature-wise, we should really see those temperatures spike late in the afternoon, early part of the evening once our rain chances disappear. Looks like our rain chances in the Butte area again, 10, 11, 12 o'clock as it stands now. There are just slight chances, but those chances are out there nonetheless. We'll talk more about that and a look at our air quality concerns coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. 6:32, our top story this half hour. It's been over a year and a half since Three Forks was rocked by the double homicide of two brothers from Butte. Now, 25-year-old Zachary Norman, the man who is accused of killing those two brothers, is set to start trial today. MTN's Jolie Salee spoke with residents who live a couple houses down from where the shooting took place.
One of the girls in my grade, she was neighbors to that house, and she was talking about how there was like bullet holes in her fence, and her mom was outside, like so she could hear the whole thing.
Calder Clark has lived in Three Forks almost his entire life.
There's not really much that goes around here.
Until on January 15th. Clark says folks woke up to an alert on their phones in the middle of the night. They looked out their windows to find commotion and a swarm of police vehicles.
And over the next couple of weeks, people are hearing about how these people could have been fighting, that they were drunk, and then suddenly somebody just pulled out a gun and shot them.
Zachary Norman of Three Forks is the accused gunman, allegedly shooting and killing Butte brothers Brendan and Chase Eastabrook after a fight at a house party off 6th and Ash. According to court documents, officers found wet clothing at Norman's house. That clothing matched the description of what Norman was wearing at the time of the shooting. Officers also found a gun inside a waistband holster next to a water heater closet as they searched the home. Norman told detectives that he normally carried a gun on him. Norman is being charged with 2 counts of felony, deliberate homicide, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. He pleaded not guilty to all counts last year, and his jury trial begins on July 17th. Clark says many folks in town are eager to see justice served.
Are you hopeful that nothing like that ever happens in Three Forks again?
Yeah. Some people do seem like they're a little weary about it.
In Three Forks, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Jolie. Now, the political world will have its eyes on a New Hampshire Monday night for a town hall by No Labels, a nonprofit that is rumored to be considering running a third-party presidential ticket next year to challenge Democrats and Republicans. While third parties are nothing new in the United States, this organization already has the backing of former governors and some current members of Congress. Our Joe St. George looks at the controversy surrounding No Labels and how this group could impact next year's election.
Are you someone who labels everything? Your drawers, Tupperware, perhaps a first aid kit? Personally, I never use a label maker, but in politics, there's a tendency to label everything. Democrat this, Republican that. But what if the labels were dropped. Could a third party actually emerge? Well, enter the group No Labels, where on Monday night, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia and former Utah Republican Governor John Huntsman will speak on the group's behalf at a town hall in New Hampshire, fueling speculation the group is seriously considering their own presidential ticket next year. Are you guys going to launch a presidential candidate in 2024?
Well, we'll see.
Joe Cunningham is a former Democratic member of Congress and a Labels. Cunningham tells us Monday's event is about releasing around 30 policy positions from the border to the economy. It's not a presidential launch. He says it's possible No Labels nominates someone next year to challenge Democrats and Republicans. His group's polling, he says, shows more Americans want bipartisan solutions and are not keen on a rematch between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump.
What do you say to 2/3 of Americans who say that they do not want this rematch? They want other options.
The group is already generating controversy. No Labels isn't revealing who is funding them, and Cunningham tells us they don't have to right now because they are not a campaign.
We're a C4 and we're a nonprofit.
But the lack of transparency is fueling speculation that all of this could be an effort to impact next year's result. New polling from the Prime Group, a political firm critical of No Labels, shows if the group doesn't run, President Biden is leading in the polls. But if No Labels gets in the race, it shows Mr. Trump leading the popular vote. Cunningham says if No Labels does announce a launch, it would be to win themselves, not elect someone else.
We're not going to do anything that's going to simply hand the election over to Donald Trump.
Serious third-party challenges have been rare in recent political history. Ross Perot launched one in 1992 and 1996, but the best he ever did was 18% of the vote in 92, and he never won a single electoral college vote. On the National Mall in Washington, we found some Americans thinking a No Labels option may make sense.
Could be an interesting idea, yeah. I think there's a lot of people that are probably middle ground.
Meanwhile, others believe it just won't work.
I don't think a lot of people will vote for them.
Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
Now back for some Treasure State headlines. The Big Hole, Ruby, and Beaverhead rivers have had a fish problem for several years. Now the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks is asking anglers to log onto a website to report any sick or dead fish they see along those rivers. MTN's Chet Lehman has more on the Sick Fish Portal for this week in Fish and Wildlife.
The Jefferson River Basin, Beaverhead, Big Hole, and Ruby have had an ongoing problem with declining fish numbers. The Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks is working to try to figure out why.
Fish health does play a role in that, and so one of the things that we're hoping to do is gather more information and involve the public in that process.
There's just a handful of fish biologists to patrol the 298 miles of those three rivers. But count the number of anglers on those rivers, and you now have hundreds of built-in observers.
You can do it right from your phone, and it's going to ask for some information. Most importantly, what we're looking for is the location, the date, and then any photos that people can upload.
This will allow FWP to pinpoint potential problem areas. That can lead to discovery of potential problems, which can ultimately lead to solutions. So in reality, Sick Fish Portal can ultimately lead to Healthy Fish River System.
We can't be everywhere at once. We try to, spend as much time in the field as we can, but there's a lot of area to cover in Southwest Montana. So this is one way for people to kind of be the eyes and ears for Fish, Wildlife, and Parks wherever's needed.
Grab your phone and remember this simple address. The rest is pretty simple.
Yeah, sickfish.mt.gov is the website address. You can get to it from your mobile phone, from your office, wherever, and really good way to provides a direct line for people to the department and providing real-time information on what they're seeing in the field.
This week above the Jefferson River Basin south of Whitehall. Chet Lehman, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Chet. Now, so far this summer, we have only had to deal with smoke from the Canadian wildfires. But as temperatures start to warm up and things dry out, our MTN's Charlie Kleps looks into the possibility of the fire danger increasing as we get further into the summer.
It's been a mellow year for forest fires in Montana, and here at KOA in Billings, people are taking advantage of it. But as the weather continues to heat up, experts say that soon could change. There are few better places to spend time in the great outdoors than in Montana.
We both like to hike, we both like to mountain bike, we both have gravel bikes, road bikes, so we stay active.
And that's exactly why Bobby German and his wife are enjoying some downtime at the KOA campgrounds in Billings.
It's very important. I don't think we'd travel around if we were indoors the whole time, to be frank.
German is among the many taking advantage of the extra moisture in Montana and camping freely, although he knows the fire season could come quickly.
All that growth that's created from all this wetness, if you will, the storms, we know it's going to get dry. And it's going to actually, in some ways, provide more fuel for those wildfires.
There's definitely reason to be cautious as we go through the next couple weeks because there's really no moisture in the forecast.
So far, it's been a fairly quiet start to the season, with 11 active fires right now, none of which are considered large at the moment. But as meteorologist Dan Borsum says, it can all change very quickly.
While right now things look great out there, activities don't have to be overly cautious. That transition is going to really occur quickly, we think, after this weekend.
He says part of the delay is from last summer's flooding, which had moisture left over to go along with a wetter summer this year as well.
One thing for southern Montana, we really benefited from last May and June's rainfall event. Unfortunately, that did flood the Yellowstone, but that helped produce a little bit of a reservoir of moisture in the region.
But for now, he's encouraging us all to get outside and enjoy nature, just reminding us that the conditions can shift on short notice.
Hey, enjoy it. Not every year do we have this much moisture and do we have this much green hanging in, but just don't assume 3 weeks from now because it was good this week that it's going to be great then.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.